Okay. Senator Sazlon, members of the subcommittee, today we have one presentation. It's on the using Grow Your Own and teacher residency programs to address the teacher shortage. Payne Tarkenton, our Virginia Management Fellow, has been doing research on the teacher shortages and how those two programs can be used to alleviate the problem. And so I'll turn it over to him to give that presentation.
Thank you, Tyler. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee. As Tyler said, my name is Payne Tarkenton. If I have not introduced myself to you, I'm the Virginia Management Fellow who has been working here with the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committee. And I will be talking to you today about the teacher shortage in Virginia and how we can use Grow Your Own and teacher residency programs to address this problem. To give you a brief overview of the presentation, first I will be talking about the teacher shortage broadly. Then I will be speaking to the two specific programs that I researched and offering some policy options that you all and the rest of the members of the committee could consider. I've also provided some references for your review if you would like to know more. Turning to the teacher shortage broadly, Virginia is indeed facing a teacher shortage. However, the problem is not uniform across the Commonwealth. School divisions are facing shortages in different subject areas and are facing differing degrees of severity in terms of which subjects they are struggling to fill and based on the populations of the students that they are serving. When examining how to address the teacher shortage, we have to consider both recruitment, how to get people into the classroom to become teachers, as well as retention, how to make sure that they stay in the classroom. But no one solution is really going to be the end-all, be-all for the teacher shortage. There need to be many solutions considered, and there need to be many tools in the toolbox, so to speak. We also need...
Did you get that phrase from him?
I did. I was inspired by Senator Sash. Yes, sir. We also need targeted solutions that can address the specific shortages that our school divisions are facing. And one thing that we certainly need is more data to inform policymakers such as yourselves, stakeholders, and the citizens about the nature of the problem. Turning to how many teachers we are preparing, this slide 4, looks at the data for teacher preparation programs here in the Commonwealth. These are colleges and those who are enrolled in teacher preparation programs. Those are the bars in blue. And the annual graduates of those teacher preparation programs, those are the bars in red. Each individual year varies, and there is some years that stand out, but overall for both enrollment and program graduates, there is a slight decrease year over year of the number of teachers that we are preparing in the Commonwealth. And it's also important to note that not every single one of these graduates will then go on to become teachers for one reason or another. So, for instance, in the 2018-2019 school year, the last year for which data from the Higher Education Act Title II reports are available, that does not necessarily mean that 3,167 people became teachers in the Commonwealth of Virginia. They might have gone to another state. They might have chosen not to enter the teaching profession for one reason or another. So there are important things to consider with those kinds of caveats.
Mr. Chair, are you taking questions as we go? Is there any kind of surveys, either exit surveys or anecdotal data or anything that teases out why so many of the enrolled students don't complete their programs? I mean, that's a huge drop-off even before COVID. That's like a huge drop-off between the number of enrolled and the number who complete.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Chair and Senator McClellan, the enrollment data is for each school year is the total enrollment, so that's not just at the start of the year that, say, for instance, 10,000 people are seniors in an education program. That is for the entire university. Yes, ma'am.
No, this is not just seniors.
Correct.
It's everybody in it from freshman on up.
Correct. For the numbers in blue, that is for everyone enrolled. The numbers in red are the annual graduates. Yes, sir. Turning to this school year particularly, here on slide 5, we have the top 10 subject areas that are facing a critical teaching shortage according to DOE. A critical teacher shortage can be defined on 2 criteria from DOE. That is a shortage by subject matter designated from an annual survey of school divisions, or a school personnel vacancy for which divisions receive 3 or fewer qualified candidates for a position. This data is collected in conjunction with the VRS Critical Teaching Shortage Program. And I would also like to bring to your attention that while the order does vary every year, those top 5 subject areas, special education, elementary education, middle education, career and technical education, and grades 6 through 12 math, those are consistently the subject areas that are in the top 5 critical teaching shortages every year. The order will change. For instance, secondary math could be 5th one year, it could be 3rd the next, but those are over the last 10 school years, which I have continued collecting data for, the top 5 every single school year. For the number of vacancies every year, if we turn to slide 6, this map represents the number of vacancies reported by school divisions to the Virginia Department of Education. There are some questions I'm sure you have about the map. For the school divisions that are colored gray on the map, they did not report data to the Department of Education. This data came through the recruitment incentive for public education grants that grew out of the 2021 Special Session 2 funding. 70 out of 132 of the divisions reported vacancies for this data in August, and they reported a total of 4,979 vacancies in the critical shortage areas seen on slide 5, as well as vacancies for school counselors and other unfilled positions. And while not every locality in the Commonwealth reported data, 9 of the 10 largest school divisions by student population did report data. So we do have a sample size of divisions that represent a good sample of the students here in the Commonwealth.
Do you have a breakdown individually? I was looking at Northern Virginia. You have it's one group. Looks like Loudoun, Fairfax, Arlington, and maybe Alexandria. I'm not sure. Do you have an individual breakdown?
Yes, sir, Senator Saslaw. If you look in your notebooks at the end of the presentation, we have included a spreadsheet that breaks down all of the divisions who reported data and the divisions who did not report data, and that breaks it down for each school division. So if you are curious about individual school divisions, I would turn your attention to that spreadsheet at the end. In addition to this data, it's also important to note that the most significant number of vacancies this fall were in elementary education and special education, which are the top 2 critical shortage areas seen on slide 5. And the number of vacancies ranged significantly from school divisions. The fewest was a division that reported a single vacancy, and the highest was, as you noted, Senator Saslaw, Loudoun County, which reported 1,250 vacancies. It's also important to note that the 3 divisions with the most vacancies, that is Loudoun County, Virginia Beach, and Richmond, they had more vacancies than the rest of the divisions who reported data combined. And the median number of vacancies that a division reported this fall was 15.5. If we turn to the vacancies that are filled, that is slide 7, in November of 2021, VDOE requested the divisions who are reporting data to report how many they filled. The 70 divisions who reported vacancy data reported filling 3,147 vacancies, or about 63% of those reported back in August. However, it's important to note that 6 divisions who reported vacancy data in August did not report data in November, and so on slide 7, there will be some localities who were not gray on slide 6 and who are on slide 7, and that is because they did not report that data in November. In addition, 14 divisions did not report filling any of their vacancies between August and November of this past fall, and the size of those vacancies ranged from a vacancy of 1 to a vacancy of 48 total positions. The median number of the median percentage, of vacancies filled by school divisions in November was 24.5%. So about half of the divisions who reported data filled less than a quarter of the vacancies this fall. As to the divisions who had the most vacancies, slide 8 goes through the top 10 divisions based on the number of vacancies reported. And as you can see, those top 3 vacancies, Loudoun County, Virginia Beach, and Richmond, filled a majority of the vacancies they reported, and the rest of the top 10 had more moderate rates of vacancies filled. Some did, in fact, fill a majority of vacancies. Others did not necessarily fill a majority of their vacancies. And as I noted before, if you are curious about the specific breakdown and the percentage of vacancies filled for all school divisions, I would again draw your attention to the spreadsheet that follows the presentation in your notebooks.
You know, you have your Fairfax County at 290. Be interested to know what, because they got 188,000 students.
Yes, sir.
So I'd be curious to know as to what percentage of their teaching force was, was short. 290. I would guess you probably got 4,000 or 5,000 teachers in that county.
Yeah, Senator Sasslaw, we do have the number that they employed last year, instructional positions, so you can compare the vacancies to the actual ones.
Is it in here?
It's not in here. We can do that and provide that to you.
Is anything in here on Petersburg?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Norman, Yes, sir. Petersburg City on line 40 in the spreadsheet at the end of the presentation, as to the number of their teacher vacancies.
So their entire student population is on this line.
According to the data we received from VDOE, yes, sir, Senator Sasslaw.
Senator Sasslaw, there are certain school divisions that can qualify for the community eligibility provision, so all of their students are considered eligible for this launch.
We're gonna put that casino right there, and they all gonna be eating over there filming the steakhouse.
He said they're gonna be able to put his thing out.
That particular policy issue is very outside of my wheelhouse, Senator Norman.
Do not take the bait.
Did you find James?
Senator Sasslaw, if I may add, yes, certain divisions didn't report data because they did not participate or intend to participate in the grant program operated by DOE, and DOE indicates that that could have been due to the timing of when it was announced to divisions.
This is the smallest in the state.
Turning now to ways that we can address the teacher shortage, I specifically looked at 2 kinds of programs: Grow Your Own programs and teacher residencies. First, for Grow Your Own programs, which begin on slide 9. A Grow Your Own program has 2 basic recruiting frameworks where they recruit pre-collegiate students in high schools and sometimes middle schools who are interested in becoming teachers, and they try to give them some real-world experience and some hands-on experience about what the teaching profession looks like. There are also programs that recruit community members, such as parents, teachers' aides, others that are involved in the community. And the reason that they focus specifically on those who come from the division's backyard is that those individuals are likely to already have an existing connection and investment in the community. They're more likely to know the challenges that those students in the division face, and they're more likely to remain in the classroom because they know what to expect going into starting their profession as teachers. There are multiple different funding models that different Grow Your Own programs across the nation take on. Some take the form of college scholarships and scholarship loans to those interested in becoming teachers. Some take the form of career and technical education classes and or clubs for middle and high school students who are interested in teaching, again, to get that kind of hands-on experience. And another possibility is the form of competitive grants to local school divisions to set up their own Grow Your Own frameworks. The initial research findings that I have been able to locate on the results of Grow Your Own programs is that there is some evidence that these programs create more effective teachers, and that the Grow Your Own programs decrease the rate of attrition for teachers, again, because those teachers are more likely to know the community, to know what the students are going through, and to be able to relate and stay in the classroom. And in that vein, Grow Your Own programs have been shown to be promising for recruiting and retaining traditionally at-risk and underprivileged students, particularly in rural and urban environments. However, Grow Your Own programs still do need more study and evaluation because many of the programs are new and the research so far that I have seen is somewhat limited. So more research and more data on these programs could be very beneficial. I've also included here on slide 10 examples from other states and here within the Commonwealth of different Grow Your Own frameworks that have shown to be successful. There's programs like the South Carolina Teaching Cadets, which is a program of dual enrollment career and technical education classes for South Carolina high school students that is specifically tailored towards growing rural teachers. There's the Kentucky Teaching and Learning Career Pathway, which is has two options, some of which are the career and technical education classes, and some are after-school programs with an organization called Educators Rising, which is a national organization that focuses on Grow Your Own initiatives. And here in the Commonwealth, this past fiscal year, we started the Virginia Grow Your Own Teacher Pilot Program, which is the form of grants to school divisions to recompensate teachers who fit the eligibility criteria and who came back to teach in their school division. And we also have the Virginia Teachers for Tomorrow program, which is our own career and technical education curriculum that focuses on teaching. Turning to teacher residency programs, that begins on slide 11. Teacher residencies are built on a medical residency model where participants typically already possess a bachelor's degree and engage in post-graduate coursework of some kind, leading either to a certification or to a master's degree. And in addition, they spend a full school year in the classroom under the guidance of a mentor teacher, gaining increasing responsibilities in the classroom and learning how to be a teacher in real time while also taking their graduate coursework. In general, these residents receive tuition and fee assistance from their universities and from the divisions that they have partnered with. Sometimes residents also receive a living stipend on top of that. Sometimes they do not receive that stipend. And upon completion of the residency, residents commit to teaching in a high-need subject area and or in a high-need school in the division that they've partnered with for a number of years, usually between 3 and 5. It's also the case that residents, upon completion of the year-long residency, continue to receive mentorship, and that mentors who participate in the program do tend to also receive compensation in some form, in the form of monetary compensation, professional development, and things like that. The initial research shows that residency participants are more likely to remain in the profession compared to similar teachers in the division who did not participate in a residency program. There is also some evidence that residency programs create more effective teachers for both the resident participants and the mentor teachers who get training and get to perfect their craft as well. And residency programs have also been shown to produce a more diverse teaching workforce that better reflects the student population. And residency programs could, like Grow Your Own programs, benefit from more research. However, there is a bit more research available on residency programs, which I have included in the assorted references slide later in the presentation. Here on slide 12, I have provided some examples of residency programs, such as the North Carolina Teaching Fellows, which focuses specifically on STEM and special education. And here in the Commonwealth, we have two very successful and very promising programs for teacher residencies. We have the Teacher in Residence program at Old Dominion University, which is a partnership between Norfolk, Newport News, and Virginia Beach Public Schools and Old Dominion. The focus of this program began as focusing on secondary math and secondary science. However, According to a report that ODU submitted to this committee, the program has been successful enough in recruiting and retaining secondary math and secondary science teachers that they were able to not only expand to include special education, but now most of their cohort is working in special education because the math and science teachers are more likely to have stayed and stuck around in their partner school divisions. We also have the RTR at Virginia Commonwealth University that is formerly known as the Richmond Teacher Residency. It has since expanded to include partnerships with Chesterfield County, Henrico County, and Petersburg, and has since shortened its name from Richmond Teacher Residency to just RTR. RTR does not have a specific subject matter that they focus on, but their focus is more on teaching students from traditionally at-risk and traditionally underprivileged backgrounds in their partner school divisions. For both of these programs, residents take a year of graduate coursework and commit to teach in a high-need subject area in high-need schools in their partner divisions for 3 years. Residents receive mentorship during their residency and in the concluding years as well. To give you an idea of policy options that are currently proposed, I've included on slide 13 teacher recruitment and retention funding line items that are included in SB 30 as introduced, so that you have an idea of the teacher recruitment and retention initiatives that are currently being proposed, some of which are recurring initiatives, 2 of which the minority computer science teacher recruitment funding and the early childhood education Grow Your Own teacher preparation program are new line items for SB 30. And as to policy options that I considered in my report, first on slide 14, I examined policy options for Grow Your Own programs. One thing that would be very useful for policymakers and stakeholders is more data. So it could be the case that the committee could direct DOE to collect and report data on the Grow Your Own teacher pilot program and to collect data on the existing Virginia Teachers for Tomorrow programs that are offered in our public schools. The committee could consider expanding the Grow Your Own pilot programs to more areas of the Commonwealth, particularly for rural communities in addition to urban communities. And the committee could consider, for instance, performance measures that the Grow Your Own programs could be used for the Grow Your Own programs, so that there is a clear sort of metrics as to the performance of the teachers and performance of how well these programs are at putting and keeping people in the classroom. For teacher residency programs, one recommendation from examples from successful residencies in California is to encourage residency programs to expand their financial support base so that they can serve more students without necessarily requiring significant increases in state budget allocations. There's also the option of expanding the existing residency models that have been effective in the Hampton Roads and the Richmond region to other areas of the Commonwealth, again, perhaps in rural communities as well. And there's also the option of increasing financial incentives for mentor teachers who participate in these residency programs to encourage more teachers to be mentors and to encourage those mentors to work with the residents in these new programs. And finally, for some other policy options in general, again related to data collection on the teacher shortage, the data, as you will recall, on the teacher shortage was somewhat incomplete because of the complications of requesting the data at the start of the school year. But the committee could consider directing DOE to collect more data on the teacher shortage and to make this data more accessible to policymakers and stakeholders. This is a fairly consistent recommendation from JLARC about ways that DOE could improve. And the committee could also consider broadening the scope of existing positions at DOE for special education recruitment and retention to focus on recruitment and retention broadly in the Commonwealth. For concluding thoughts, the vacancies this fall, again, were impacted by COVID. but Virginia does regularly face teaching shortage, even when we are not in the midst of a pandemic. But it is hard to quantify the changes year over year, particularly for the most recent years, because of COVID and because of the data collection issues that DOE had suggested, particularly with the RIPE data. However, while the research is limited and promising, Grow Your Own and teacher residency programs can offer targeted solutions that can be tailored specifically to localities, specific to subjects, and specific to types of student populations. And the existing policy and funding infrastructure for these programs already exists in Virginia. And there are multiple state models that could serve as an example for upscaling these programs. So these could be a promising avenue to pursue to address the teacher shortage. As I noted, I included in the presentation assorted references and research if you are interested in learning more. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation, and if any members have questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time.
Senator Norman? First of all, thank you for a very good presentation. We appreciate it. A couple of thoughts. You're talking about growing your... Nobody wants to hear what I have to say, so...
I think Senator McClellan wanted to.
Wait a minute, I want to record that. I want to get that online, Jen. If I recall correctly, teachers are local employees and they are not state employees. Is that right?
Yes, sir, Senator Norman.
Okay. And I get this Grow Your Own. I know you had an assignment within certain goalposts. With any consideration in this Growing Your Own about what we can do to motivate localities to work on retention issues?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Norman, you are correct that teachers are indeed hired at the local level.
Always correct.
Indeed, sir. The sort of movement to grow your own programs at the state level in a lot of states that have sort of taken on this policy option is to provide incentives in some form or another to localities to begin these programs, because they have been shown in the research that exists to be somewhat effective, and a lot of the execution, for instance, of, say, the grant programs like the Grow Your Own pilot program that began this past fiscal year, and the Tennessee competitive Grow Your Own grant is for, at the state level, for state departments of education to provide those levels of financial support so that localities will have the incentive to go down this path.
Can I ask a follow-up to that? Sure. And it looks like in the other states, the Grow Your Own programs are partnerships between a university, I'm assuming, that has a teacher prep program, and the locality. Is that right?
Mr. Chairman and Senator McClellan, yes, ma'am, that is correct. For both Grow Your Own and for teacher residency programs, there is a partnership between Institute of Higher Education and the school division. And in terms of the candidates who are hired to become teachers or to become residents, there is almost across the board very strong coordination between the hiring needs of the school division and the candidates that are begin the residency or begin the Grow Your Own program. So there's a very strong correlation between there.
And follow up there, and I know my understanding with the teacher residency programs, it's the university, the teacher prep program that sort of takes the lead. They're the lead partner. Is that the same? First of all, is that understanding correct? And is that the same with the Grow Your Own programs? Is it the university that's the lead partner, or is it usually the school divisions?
Senator McClellan, you are correct for the teacher residency program that the university is a lead partner and they do work with the school division. For the Grow Your Own program, those that partner with institutes of higher education, it's more so that the school division is taking the lead because it is usually on the school division and or the locality in general to encourage the candidates to begin that program. There are also some grow your own programs that don't include university partners at all. That would be something like the grant programs, where that is after the fact payment to the teachers themselves. But for the ones that do partner with universities, it's much more the case that the local school divisions take the lead because they are the ones who are encouraging the participants to come back and be teachers. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Guess that's it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Senator.
Yeah, good presentation.